Yeah, you know what I mean, and we'll touch on other topics too. But just from that perspective, like I said, I never just expected my stepfather to do too much. I felt like he was always doing enough because he took my family in. You know, he gave my mother opportunity. He gave us opportunity. I got opportunity to really flourish and do what I have to do. But I never felt like he had to do anything extra because he did enough. So I never expected him to do the small tangibles that young boys need or young girls need growing up from a father figure. Because honestly, I felt like he didn't have to. Like he did enough. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. And watch this. I'm just speaking in a general sense. I think anytime you take on the family, like when I got married, if she would have had kids, I become those kids' father. Because they're living in my household. I have rules.
True.
Games or whatever, I got to be there.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Now, the good things that came out of our situation, whether you want to call it good or whatever your perspective is, we grew up and became men, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because when you look at a lot of cats who are raised without men, whether it be their biological father, whether it be without a stepfather, a lot of times they take on the personality of their mother.
Yeah, of course.
And they're supposed to be young men.
Yeah, but see, Rob, this is why also someone got to disagree with you because I feel as if I had the personality of my mother. You know what I mean? My connection with my mother is way more deeper than my connection with my stepfather, of course. But
of course, Mike.
You know what I mean? No, that's what I'm saying. But I feel like I had the personality of my mother.
That's good.
Yeah.
But there was still a male presence for you to model, Mike.
True, I can see what you're saying from that perspective. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And now, if the only presence you see and look up to is your mother, and it's no male, things become shaky.
I agree. It's so important to have a male figure in the household. Especially with single mothers, because there's certain things also as young boys, a mother can't teach her son.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
Just even you think about the tangibles.
Yeah.
Can't teach a son. There's certain things that young girls, their first superhero is always who?
Wonder Woman or something.
No.
Oh yeah, their mother. I'm thinking about
their father.
Wait a minute, young girls?
Yeah, young baby girls. Their first superhero is always their dad.
Oh, okay. I'm lost on that one. Okay.
Which is honestly true because if you think about it, who's the strongest person always picking her up?
They father. Okay.
You know what I mean? That's who girls really look up to as their first superhero, is their dad.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, and if you also look at when girls have that absence of their dad growing up, that's why they tend to be the ones who's always looking for some type of love in a male, and they, sleep around with another man, or, they're always easy falling heads over heels doing stupid shit behind dudes. You know what I mean? Because they miss that absence of a father figure who taught them, be like, hey, baby girl, you don't need no man. If no man don't treat you like your daddy, you don't need to be with him.
Good point.
You know what I mean? Which is a huge thing. But let me ask you this. Why do you think in a black family there are so many single mothers and that male father figure is not its absence of not playing a role of taking care of their kids?
Because for some reason, man, it's just so hard for us to get along. And then the woman takes on this personality or takes on this thought process of saying, I can do it by myself. I don't need a man, which is untrue. Because now, when your child's 3, 2 years old, whatever, I don't need a man, I don't need a man, I don't need a man. Now when he's 16 and he's in and out of jail and you can't tell him nothing, now you need a man, right?
You're saying it's more of the women's fault that the dude is not there?
I'm not going to say more, but I think the woman and the man, I say it's equal.
I can't agree with that.
Yes.
As my guy, I can't agree with that, man, because here's why. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what issues you have with a woman, that's still your responsibility to be there and take care of your kids. No woman determines that.
Of course. Now some dudes are just not stepping up. Now they just lazy.
But that's basically what it is, regardless, man. Because, like I said, if let's say whenever I have kids, and unfortunately, if me and my baby mama or my girl or my wife was not supposed to get along, you know what I mean? If I'm not, just because I'm not in her life no more, doesn't mean I'm not going to be in this kid's life. That's coward shit to me.
That sounds good, Mike, but I've seen instances where women go out of their way to keep the child away from the father, to hurt the father. She's not looking out for the best interest of the child. She's trying to hurt the father.
I can see from that perspective too.
And now this kid grows up, you know, and these women, a lot of these women have that, I don't need a man, I don't need a man, I can do this. Every woman wants to be so independent, Mike.
Well,
And
we all know that's bullshit.
Of course.
Every man respects an independent woman, but after that day, every man does respect a woman who allows a man to be a man too.
Of course. But these kids grow up. And when they 16, they in and out of jail. You can't tell them nothing. Now they looking for a man to come save them.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at today's youth, you know what I mean? And like I said, you know, we grew up with single mothers for a while, but we really didn't. We didn't have our biological father. I can honestly say I've learned more in my life from my mother than any man would ever be able to teach me.
I can roll.
You know what I mean? Now I'm a grown man now, so you know I know what to teach my son or my daughter whenever I have kids in the future. But I've learned more from my mother than any man has ever taught me, because you know what? At the end of the day, I learned from a perspective as a kid growing up that I seen what my mother struggled as a woman, and you know what I mean? And I seen what if a man would have been there to do for her, she would have been better off. And I put myself in that position always, even as a kid, that when I get older, I'm going to be the man that my father was, or you know what I mean, or whoever wasn't, for my future family and all that. And I think that's a lot of things that mothers nowadays also aren't able to teach their kids. Stronger mothers back then, they were tougher. And I don't want to say there are mothers now that's tough, but stronger mothers back then, they went through more trials and tribulations. They went through a lot. You know what I mean? Girls nowadays, and I don't want to talk down on anybody, but you know, girls nowadays having kids at 13, 14.
Yeah, they're not ready.
You know
They're
what I
too
mean?
young. No foundation.
That's that father figure role that's missing.
Of
'Cause
course.
you wouldn't have that. You know what I mean?
Of course. And that's the thing. I'm going to say a man's presence is so necessary, because at the time when my mother and my father was going through their thing and my father wasn't around, my uncle was there, Mike. And if I needed my ass whooped, my mother would pass me off to my uncle. But at the same time, I thought my uncle was the coolest dude in the world. I didn't want to be like my mother. She taught me some great stuff. I didn't want to be like my mother. I wanted to be like my uncle. You know, he had the newest shoes. He was cool. You know, he had different women. I wanted to be him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that male presence is important, man. And I just know whenever I have kids, man, no matter what the situation, God forbid, I'm just using an example. My wife was like, man, you're dumb, you're stupid, you got a big head, you black as hell, I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm going to be with my kid.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's sad, man. I know so many mothers nowadays who are, you know what I mean, that single mothers, you know what I mean, and have babies, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to just speak so much, but I know these people. These people are my friends, and I see the struggle they go through. You know what I mean? And it's so sad, because it's like at the end of the day, as a grown man, and that's why I say I don't know if you be cut from a different cloth, but as a grown man, how could you honestly look your kid in the face when they get older and give them an explanation of why you weren't there?
That's mind-boggling. I don't have the answers. I don't have